type 1 and type 2 error in hypothesis test. So what is type 1 error? First of all, error means something goes wrong, right? A mistake, something goes wrong. So type 1 error is you reject H naught when H naught is true. Let's read this again. Type 1 error is reject H naught when H naught is true. So when H naught, the null hypothesis, is true, you reject this true hypothesis, then that constitute an error. So reject H naught when H naught is true. A statement is true, you reject this statement. What is reject mean? Reject means you just cross out that statement. So this action is an error, so that is called type 1 error. What about type 2 error? So type 2 error is you fail to reject H naught when the alternative hypothesis HA is true. Let's read this again. Fail to reject H naught when HA is true. So when HA is true, you just take that true statement and walk away. However, in type 2 error, you fail to reject H naught. So fail to reject H naught means H naught is still hanging in there. But in the meantime, you take HA as a true statement and walk away. So this is a type 2 error. You take the statement and walk away. However, there is a statement H naught still on the table. So fail to reject H naught means H naught is still on the table. But in the meantime, you take HA, say it is true, and then walk away. So this is a type 2 error. So type 1 error is when H naught is true. So H naught is true. However, you reject this null hypothesis. So you have a true statement on the table. However, you just cross out this statement, and then you just cross out means you take this statement and then throw it away. So that is a type 1 error. Let's put this in a case scenario. So let's say H naught is means the house is safe. So H naught, the original thought is the house is safe. And then HA, in an inspector's point of view, the house is not safe. So what is type 1 error? What is type 2 error? So usually they put this on a table. So in this table, we have a row, we have a column. So the column is in yellow. We say that that is inspector's decision. Either reject H naught or fail to reject H naught. What about in reality? In reality, I have two columns. The first one is H naught is true. Then you just take HA away. And then the second column is H naught is not true. And then you take HA as a true statement. So which spot is not an error? So let's take a look at inspector's decision. So you reject H naught. How do you not make an error? You reject H naught. So what's the next part? You reject H naught when HA is true, right? So you reject H naught, and then you look to column 2. I said HA is true, so this is a correct decision. You reject H naught. In reality, H naught is false, HA is true, so nothing is wrong with that, so that is a correct decision. How about fail to reject H naught? If you fail to reject H naught, then H naught is still there, right? I'm not trying to say that like H naught is true, so when you fail to reject H naught, you have a statement hanging right in front of you. So the only option is I have to take the first column. H naught is true, so that is a correct decision. What about the rest? So the first spot, reject H naught when H naught is true. So that one, I have to say that is a type 1 error. Type 1 error. We use the Roman numeral I. I means 1. Type 1 error. And then how about the other spot? Fail to reject H naught when HA is true. So you fail to reject H naught, so H naught is still hanging there, but you take HA as a true statement and walk away. So that is a type 2 error. Now, when you do this on a test, so let's say just for example, so let's say I swap the decision. I swap the two decisions. Do you see that compare these two tables? I start with reject H naught. This time I start with fail to reject H naught. I put the H naught in the second row. How does that affect the position of those 4 answers? So let's see. First of all, your decision. You reject H naught. What's the next one? You reject H naught. HA is true. So look at the column. Which one says HA is true? So this one says HA is true, right? So you reject H naught when HA is true. So is this correct or an error? You reject H naught, then that means HA is right. So if you look at the reality, HA is true, so that is right. You take that, walk away. So that is perfectly fine. So this is a correct decision. And then the next one is you fail to reject H naught. What does that mean? That means H naught is still there, right? H naught is still there. So you cannot, which one is right? Column 1 or column 2? Column 1 is in reality H naught is true. H naught is true. You fail to reject that. So you did not reject a true statement. That is absolutely fine, right? So that is a correct decision. Okay, let's find type 1. Type 1 is reject H naught when H naught is true. So you reject H naught when H naught is true. That is right there. So this is type 1 error. Reject H naught when H naught is true. Just keep repeating this to yourself. Every time you solve a type 1 and type 2 error problem, just keep repeating the definition. You can just say it to yourself as you are solving the problem. And then the last one must be type 2, right? Let's read it anyway. So type 2 is you fail to reject H naught when HA is true. So that is written in the reality. So this is type 2 error. When you take a test, the problem can be in this form, can be either a table or they give you two statements to work on. So that would be my next example. So I have more examples right here. I have H naught and then HA is blank. I want you to state type 1 and type 2 error. Okay, so first of all, let's follow the color code. So H naught is the vaccine is unsafe. What is the opposite of unsafe? The opposite of unsafe is safe. So for HA, I should say the vaccine is safe. All right, I got H naught and HA right in front of me. So what's the technique again? The technique is keep repeating the definition to yourself. So instead of say the definition out loud, I will just write it down for you. So type 1 error is you reject H naught when H naught is safe. It's safe. It's true when H naught is true. Add two words to it, in reality. That helps you to write the type 1 error in the context of this problem. So how do you write type 1 error using the language of this context? Type 1 error is you claim. So you claim the vaccine is safe. What is this? You claim the vaccine is safe. I just read reject H naught. So if you reject H naught, so just follow this. Reject H naught means you cross this out. And then you take HA as a true statement. So that's why I wrote you claim the vaccine is safe. Or you can say you say the vaccine is safe, you prove the vaccine is safe. Just cross out H naught because you wrote reject H naught. All right. And then when H naught is true in reality, all right. And then I write this, comma, when in fact the vaccine is unsafe. When H naught is true in reality. So that's why I said H naught is true, then you repeat the content of H naught in when in fact the vaccine is unsafe in reality. Oh, since you wrote in fact, then you don't have to write in reality. What about type 2? Type 2 is, so let's write type 2. So type 2, move this up for you. So type 2 error is you fail to reject H naught when HA is true. So what is fail to reject H naught? Fail to reject H naught means you have the H naught on the table. So that means you claim the vaccine is unsafe because you have that on your table. You fail to reject H naught and then comma when in fact HA is true, that means the vaccine is safe. That means HA is true. So that's the first one. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is a math professor believes that more than 40% of his calculus students study together for the final exam. State H0 and HA, write type 1 error and type 2 error. All right, more than 40%. What is more than? More than means greater than, right? Can greater than in H0? Can I put greater than in H0? The answer is no, right? You cannot put greater than in H0 because in H0 there has to be an equal. You need an equal in H0. So that means the greater than goes to HA. So more than 40%. So 40% is kind of like a proportion, right? Okay, so we write this. The proportion is greater than 40%. And then what about H0? So H0, there is no symbol for H0, then I will just take the opposite. So that is P less than or equal to 40%. I strongly suggest you to put the keyword in there as well. So this is more than, right? This one for the less than and equal to, usually if you want to impress people, don't say less than or equal to, use the word at most, 40%. And then the other one is more than. So what is type 1 error? So for type 1 error is repeat this to yourself. So let me just move this up. So for type 1 error, let's repeat the definition. Type 1 error is you reject H0 when H0 is true in reality. Okay, so what is reject H0 mean? You reject H0, then you take HA as a true statement. So that means the professor claims more than 40%, right? So more than 40% of his calculus students study together for the final. So let's skip that. The professor claims more than 40% when in fact, that means in reality, it is at most 40%. That means the less than or equal to. Why? You reject H0. So first of all, you reject H0. That means you take HA as a true statement. So that's why I start off with the greater than, because the greater than is in HA. And then the next part is when H0 is true. So H0 is less than or equal to. That's why I said when in fact. In fact means in reality. You can say when in reality, it is at most 40%. That's okay as well. So that's the type 1. And then what about type 2? Type 2 is fail to reject H0. And then what? When HA is true. What is fail to reject H0? Fail to reject H0 means you have H0 on your table. So repeat the H0 for me. So that means the professor claims you have what on your table? You have the H0 on your table. So the professor claims the at most 40% of the student. Let's skip the rest of the detail. And then what's next? When HA is true in reality. You can do this when you don't need to write in fact if you want to. You can write in reality. It is what? It is HA is true. It is more than 40%. More than 40%. So that's how you follow the logic. I know when you read the sentence, the professor claims more than 40% when in fact it is at most 40%. When you read this problem, the first feeling that comes into your mind is something feels wrong. Of course, because this sentence is a type 1 error. So this is how we process the logic. When we read or think something that doesn't look right, we confuse ourselves. So that's the first impression. When you read the sentence, the professor claims greater than 40, but in fact it is at most 40. So something doesn't feel right, right? So the way you process the sentence, you finish the entire sentence and then think that, all right, that doesn't feel right. Yes, I agree with you. That doesn't feel right because it is an error. I'm not saying it is wrong. It is a type 1 error. Type 1 error means something goes wrong. So that's why your first impression is that doesn't sound right. Let's do one more. The next one we have this. A sleeping bag is tested to withstand temperature of negative 10 Fahrenheit, around negative 23.3 Celsius. That is very cold. You want to prove that the bag cannot stand temperatures that low. State H0 and HA. Write type 1 error and type 2 error. Okay, first of all, the sleeping bag is tested to withstand temperature of negative 10 Fahrenheit, negative 10 degree Fahrenheit. So that looks like an equal to me. Can you put equal in HA? The answer is no, right? So that means for H0, we have the temperature equals to negative 10 Fahrenheit, or in words, you can say can stand. Withstand, oh, not can stand, can withstand negative 10 degree Fahrenheit. And then HA is cannot, right? The opposite, cannot withstand negative 10 degree Fahrenheit. So what is type 1 error? Type 1 error is you reject H0. So reject H0 when H0 is true in reality. All right, how do you put this in the context of the problem? Reject H0, you analyze reject H0. That means HA is true. So you write HA first. You can do this. You conclude that the bag can or cannot. The answer is cannot because you reject H0 at this moment. You are taking HA as a correct statement. So the bag cannot. So cannot, this is in HA, cannot withstand negative 10 degree Fahrenheit when in reality the bag what? When H0 is true. That means when the bag can withstand negative 10 Fahrenheit. You think the bag cannot, but in fact the bag can. Okay, so that is type 1. And then type 2. Fail to reject H0 when HA is true in reality. HA is true in reality. What is fail to reject H0? That means the statement is on your table. So you repeat H0 again. So the H0 is you conclude the bag. H0 is can, right? So can withstand negative 10 degree Fahrenheit. And then when in reality, the bag what? What's the next part? When HA is true. HA is cannot. Okay, so when the bag cannot withstand negative 10 degree Fahrenheit. So that's type 1 error and type 2 error. All right. All you have to do is you write the definition first and then you change the words in the context of the problem. It is not difficult, right? So that is the end of this video. If you think my instruction is helpful and clear, share the video, like the video for me, subscribe to my channel if you are new to my channel. See you all in the next one. Signing out for now.